everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, but you can call me Ems. And this is Strad von Popovich. You can call him Strad or his lordship, his Lord von Popovich. And it's another installation of my Fibre Arts podcast, which is very much overdue. So let's get it on the road. So the reason I haven't done one is I feel like I've not done a lot of finishing or really a lot of starting. So we have one finished object to share with you today. Three finished objects to share with you today technically. And then one work in progress that I'm excited about. So 3 FOs, one whip, and today I actually went to a fiber gathering. I went to the Gagetown fiber gathering, which is kind of like a one-day fiber festival. So I'm excited. It was in Gagetown, New Brunswick, not CFB Gagetown, the village of Gagetown. And I went with a friend from the Society for Creative Anachronism because he's also into the fiber art stuff. So he gave me a drive, which was great, helped him pay for the gas, and I got some yarn goodies. So I'm excited to show you that. And I took a couple of clips while I was there. I was hoping to get a little bit more filmed. However, when I got there, I realized the only food they had on site were sausages, and I both don't and can't eat meat. So we ended up leaving pretty much after we finished the shopping portion, and then I was also like shaking. So I ended up getting a pop for the ride home to help my blood sugar. I've come home now, I've had some soup and some crackers, and we are ready to go. So how about to start it off, I'll send you to Ems from earlier this morning and show you a bit of the Fiber Festival.
Good morning. You want to go to a Fiber Festival with me? Today is the Gagetown Fiber Festival, and I'm going. It is 7 a.m. and I fell asleep at like 2 in the morning. I'm gonna go get ready. Let's go.
In the village, taking place today is that wine tour. You go to different houses and drink wine all through the village. And at the end of it, you get potters. Where I work, I think that
Hi. Hi, babies. What are you doing? Hi. Hi. You're so pretty. Yeah.
Just a minute. Oh, I know, I have her here. Deanne,
Goats.
Hello, folks. Oh, they're so soft.
right, Mouse. And you can explain. Well, it's
In our shop,
Wasn't that fun? I thought the goats were so cute. I've never worked with cashmere yarn, but those goats were from Grimross Farm Cashmere, and that is right in Gagetown, New Brunswick, so in the village of Gagetown. It says, naturally raised cashmere goats for fiber, meat, and pets, proudly produced Canadian cashmere. Oh, I got lots of business cards, so I'm going to talk to you a bit about what I saw there as well. But I'm going to get to what I bought today because I know that's one thing that everyone's going to be really excited about. So the big idea of today, because I didn't have enough money to like buy all the yarn I needed for the coming West Knits Mystery Knit Along for 2022. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my accent color. I want to find one color that just feels right for the accent color. And then I'm going to pick my main color and contrast color just out of like, probably like Patton's Croy Sock, something affordable and available just at my local craft stores kind of thing. And I did find the one I'm going to use, and it is this beautiful, like tealy blue. Look how gorgeous that is with the variation from the dark to the light. I thought this would be nice because it's not too speckly, but it is beautiful. And this is from Yarn Indulgences, always unique and often one of a kind, it says. This is the color called Rhonda, like the name, R-H-O-N-D-A. This is the ZBFL, which I believe is Blue-Faced Leicester sock yarn, 420 yards, 115 gram fingering weight with 80% Blue-Faced Leicester blue and 20% nylon, fully made in Canada, which is great. This can be found at yarnindulgences.com. It is hand wash, cool water, dry flat for best results. Please order enough for your project. Many colors are one of a kind. So when you're doing their colors, you might want to do that. And it has all of this stuff here. And also includes, she also gave me this thing for a free garden fence sock pattern where I just have to send an email to her with my Ravelry name. And she'll give me a code for the free pattern, which is really cool. The next one is from a dyer I've been meaning to try out for a while, and that is Sweet Skein O' Mine. So Sweet Skein O' Mine is a Fredericton-based dyer. It is hand-dyed yarn in Fredericton. It is from Amanda Clark. And the Sweet Skein O' Mine can be found on Instagram. So this is the color I decided to go with. This one is just for my stash. I just wanted something that kind of is the colors I go for, and my thought was I'd get like a hank and say that's a pair of socks, or it's a nice one-off color that I could use for a future West Knit shawl or something like that. So, because especially since I've been super into fingering weight yarns recently for knitting, I had to do it. I had to do it, guys. So this one is Pumpkin Chai. It is 80/20 superwash, Blue-Faced Leicester, and nylon, 400 yards for 100 grams. I think that this colorway is super pretty. It's got this beautiful like dark rusty colors, but then there's also this like pop of like a peachy salmony pink right here that kind of blends in a little bit. There's little like tiny flecks of blue. So it's got a lot of depth to it, and I really like this one. I may consider getting a second one of these from her. She also sells at my local yarn store, so I may elect to buy a second one of these and use it for either my main color or contrast color for the shawl, because like if this is not an accent color for this, I'm sorry, what? You know? Imagine this with a dark brown or even a black. So kind of like spooky pumpkin jack-o'-lantern vibes, and then this bright popping magical blue. Some thoughts. Kisses. The next thing I got, so this is about the time, this is pretty much what I had budgeted for, was 2 skeins of yarn. They pretty much ran the price of what most hand-dyed yarns are in my area. Then I had saved some money for lunch. However, because I found out the only food available was meat, I elected to spend the money I'd set aside for lunch for that, because we decided, me and the guy who had taken me, we decided that we kind of got what we wanted, and we were like, you know what, let's head out and have a nice rest of our day and have time to do some crafting and some knitting and some fun stuff at home. So I decided to grab just a couple of things that were like a little more discounty that I wanted to try out. So this is from King Woolens and Yarns. I actually know, I believe it's Marilyn. Is it Marilyn? I'm sorry. Marilyn. Yes, I know Marilyn King a little bit from the area. I'll probably end up going and talking with her and having some tea or coffee at her shop sometime. This is King Woolen and Yarns at the Brookside Mall in Fredericton, which is nice. Little thank you card and her business card. And what I ended up getting was this hand-dyed worsted weight. It's like almost even a bulky. This is, I believe, dyed on top of Briggs and Little yarn, which Briggs and Little is also local to me. Briggs and Little is out in Harvey, which is just past Hanwell, just outside of Fredericton. So about 20 to 25 minute drive for me, which is awesome. I'm hoping to go on my next vacation, because I was going to go on my last vacation, but then I kept just adding things to do during the week and I ended up not having time or money to go. So I'm hoping that this coming fall, when I go on vacation, I'll do that and maybe get a sweater quantity of Briggs and Little yarn. Who knows? But this is the beautiful colorway I got from King Woolens. And there was no like name to the colorway or anything. So if Marilyn, if you end up watching this, let us know what you call this. It's got this really nice pale purple, this like darker color, this orange, and it has some of that natural white in there. I just thought this was kind of Halloween-y and fun, and I thought it would be a nice worsted that could go with black or with white, because I always could use a worsted for, you know, a hat or mittens or something like that. So a little something for my stash. And finally, last but not least, but also the tiniest, are these two mini skeins of worsted weight hand-dyed yarn. This was kind of the card I was given. It just says every loop pulled by Susan Monroe. So Susan Monroe was doing some gorgeous, like, I don't think it was rug hooking, but it was like where you have like the really short loops when you're doing the design kind of thing. And she ended up starting to dye her own yarn because she was trying to make a logo and she couldn't find the right blues. So she started dyeing yarn and she started making these mini skeins, which are so cute. But I thought these would make a nice stripe on a hat or a nice addition to like a slipper or a chunky sock. But they were only $4 each for a mini skein of yarn. To be fair, this is a mini skein of worsted weight, so it doesn't really go as far as a mini skein of sock weight yarn, but look how cute. So this is one that I really liked. It's got some purples and pinks and yellows. And then this has similar vibes, but is much more fruity and bright. So like a much brighter yellow, brighter purple, brighter pink, which I really love. So I got these two from Susan Monroe. It just has their email and things. It doesn't say like an Instagram or anything, but I got those, which I was excited about. And that is my haul from today. So let me look at my other business cards and tell you a little bit more about what I saw there. So we had Tight Knit Creation, which is hand knitted and crocheted items by Belle Crow, which is Tight Knit Creations on Instagram and Facebook. She had some really nice crocheted items, some tapestries and things like that. I was very impressed, especially since she said she's only been doing it for a few months. So I was very impressed with her work, to be honest. And I believe she's the one that has a love for blanket yarns and does some beautiful amigurumi with those like Bernat blanket kind of yarns to make them really fuzzy and comfy and cute and fun. So congrats to Belle Crow, because I was very impressed by these, and I've been crocheting for between 15 and 20 years. I can't count anymore, but Loved that. Then, of course, we had the Grimross Farm Cashmere with the goats. They were also selling their cashmere yarns. They were also selling meat, la la la, or they do sell meat, but you know me, not for me. There was Ravel Fiber Arts by Chloe Conklin, and I cannot 1000% remember which table this was. Based on the picture, I think this was the one where I showed you the rainbow braids of roving. I think this was her, because I mean, that literally shows a rainbow braid of roving. And she is also in Fredericton. That's fun. Then we had Brigadoon Fiber Farm, which was fine alpaca, fiber, and products. I love Brigadoon stuff. I have not used it personally, but I have seen their stuff worked up. I have seen their yarns used. They also sell like felt and all these fun things, and it's all alpaca. And you can even go see them, and they're in Hoyt, New Brunswick. This was cool. I loved a lot of the colors they had, but unfortunately, a lot of the colors were a worsted weight when what I was looking for while I was there was sock weight or fingering weight. So once I got my 2 fingering weight sock weights, I didn't really have enough money for these, but this may be something that I will explore in the future for local yarns. We had Hand Woven Treasures by Karen Brown, Juried Craft New Brunswick member. Ooh. So the Instagram is HT Studio in the Woods, and I believe this is the lady who does gorgeous weaving, amazing weaving, some gorgeous, 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 gorgeous patterns and prints, beautiful use of color, mixing of color together. Just, it was really nice. She does a lot of like hand towels and kitchen towels and that sort of thing. A little bit out of my price range for today. And she does go to the farmer's market in Fredericton quite frequently. But I'm thinking that that might be something to think of for buying Christmas gifts for someone who maybe is really into the kitchen or the home and wants something a little bit nicer and handmade and local. So that's an idea there. And finally, we have Get Hooked Studio, which is rug hooking supplies, but she also hand dyes yarn, and she's got some beautiful hand dyed yarn, mostly done on, again, the Briggs and Little, kind of like this, the Briggs and Little worsted weight. So not what I was looking for today, but definitely worth checking out, because hand dyed yarn for like $15 a hank, excuse me, I'll take it. And definitely will be something I'll be looking into more when it comes time for winter sweater making, more worsted weight kind of stuff, along with her and King Woolens, of course. And that is kind of all that I saw today. There were people doing weaving, there was people carding wool, there were spinners, there were like at least 2 spinning wheels, there was someone with a circular sock knitting machine. There was kind of a little bit of everything. Not like a huge fiber festival or anything. I think that might be why they call it a fiber gathering. It's pretty small, but it was actually very impressive for what I thought we had in New Brunswick. So I was actually kind of excited for how much we had of New Brunswick representation. So let's move on to my finished objects. The first one I'm the most excited to tell you about is my Halloween mesh trench coat. I designed this pattern myself, and it was based entirely from this yarn. This is one kind of yarn. It is Loops and Threads Charisma, like the chunky yarn, in the color Dragonfly, but this is literally Halloween yarn. You can't convince me otherwise. And I was inspired. I wanted to make like a trench coat length sweater or jacket from it. So let's get this on. And it's in a mesh pattern, so it's really comfy, but I've got these bell sleeves on the end here. I did by adding not just a stitch in the bar stitches, but also 2 stitches between in the mesh eyelets when it's usually supposed to be 1. So I did that. It's got a little bit of shaping right here so that I can pull it over a little bit like this, and then I've got a tie that I can put on it. and it is split all the way up to the hip on the sides, and it's got a little bit of a split to about the knees in the very back panel. And this, like when I'm wearing it in the house like I was yesterday. So I had originally done this collar also doing the same bell sleeve thing, but then I realized it's stretching way too much because of how big this is, because this goes all the way to the floor basically on me. So this, you can even see it's stretching out a little bit here, but like it was stretching so dramatically that it was like dragging on the floor, and not in the fun dramatic way, more in the sloppy way. So I fixed it now. It took me about 30 minutes to rip out the collar and border here, and about 4 hours for it to go back together, like to put it back together in here. So I'm very, very happy with this, especially for having no pattern. This is mostly like weird half trapezoid on this side, weird half trapezoid here, and then one big rectangle in the back where I kind of split into 2 small rectangles. But this feels like a cozy gothic bathrobe, just like a fun and beautiful. I almost wore it today, but then I thought it's going to be really hot. So I ended up wearing like a little sweater because it was cold in the morning, a little sweater, my West knit shawl as you saw, and my mushroom hat. And I thought that was a good way to show off some of the fiber arts, knitting and crochet that I do. But I'm so happy with this. Like, look at this. Look at the drama. I can't be the drama. I'm in love. And I never want to take it off. It is for me. So that was one of the FOs I have since we last spoke. And another thing is I have been getting more and more into the Society for Creative Anachronism, and I have taken up fiber arts, and I have joined the Keepers of Athena's Thimble, which is a fiber arts guild for the East Kingdom. So the first thing I did was the Athena's Thimble Badge, and this is an owl sitting atop a needle, or sitting atop a thimble with the AT in it, and it's holding a real needle. So I did this little badge, was my first little project I did for that, which is very cute. This is not real silver thread. This is just a DMC silver thread, but it's nice and shiny, and it gives you that illusion and look. So going with that. And then I did a little badge. This is a funky mess up because once I took it off the hoop, the linen squidged down in a weird way, so it's not quite circular, but it is my Shire of Lindhaven badge that I made to represent the Shire of Lindhaven, which is the area that I'm in for the SCA. And that's what I've done there. Those are my finished objects for now. And then I started and am working on a blackwork sampler because I'm learning blackwork for the society, just because I think it's so beautiful and interesting. Not even because I want to do Tudor costume. I'm actually leaning more towards Irish, like 14th, 15th, 16th century Irish, like that kind of 300 year span there. That's more of my interest, but I think it's kind of fun to see the other side because, you know, Henry VIII put a lot of sumptuary laws and requirements for clothing for Ireland. So I thought that was kind of fun to look at the other side. What are the Tudors doing? What are they doing over there? So, and I know that blackwork embroidery was really popular. So I put it out there into the Athena's Thimble group that I was interested in learning blackwork, and someone tagged someone and they come back with like, well, here's my website, here's my Pinterest board, here's my bibliography, you'll want these copies of the Complete Anachronist, you're going to want this, and you can do this, and you can start on Aida cloth, but you don't need even weave linen, you can kind of do any kind of fabric, or linen's the best, however, like, you know, all this information, beautiful, gorgeous information. And she recommended a modern stitch along, which was the peppermint purple stitch along for 2022. So I've started working on that. I don't have it here to show you because I forgot to bring it and I don't really want to get up because my back hurts. So that is something I'm also working on right now. I'm excited for that. The next thing is, this is technically finished, but it's more like a swatch, is I'm learning Mosaic Crochet. So this is a really interesting type of crochet where if you see the back, every row is only a single color. So you single crochet on the row, but if you want the opposite color on the bottom, on the row below, you double crochet into the row below. So you can come up with these really cool patterns like this geometric kind of look to it. So I thought this was really cool. This was like just a beginner tutorial by Sixel Designs. So I'm really happy about this, how this turned out and how it worked out. To be fair, having crocheted for as long as I have, I'm not surprised I could do it right away, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it was difficult. But I'm excited that it was not as difficult as I thought it could be. And last, and most certainly not least, for my current projects, we have my dun 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 dun. Trying to show it off without ruining it. Dun, dun. It's currently on circular needles that are way too small. But it is my Slipstravaganza shawl, which was the 2020 mystery knit along for West Knits, but I did not know about West Knits or knit at that time. So this is my work in progress for that. So I'm so excited. This main color you may recognize as Crazy Neon Beauty as from Lola Bean Yarn Co. It is the colorway Sugar Skulls, and it was my stash dive that I did last time. So this is that, and it is so fun to do as a main color because it is just so wild. So I went a little more subdued with my other colors. I have a really dark gray, a black, and then this mixed purple color. And those are all Patton's Croy sock, which I'm enjoying working with. They're quite nice to work with. They're very easy to get a hold of. And when it comes to 100 grams, it ends up being like between $10 and $14, depending on where I buy it and if I can get it on sale. So not bad when it comes to yarn, like sock weight yarn for knitting large amounts on a budget that is still wool, not acrylic. So that's what I'm working on. I'm literally on the border right now. So I'm so close. I had put a soft deadline on myself to finish it for today so I could wear it today, but that was just not going to happen with the kind of week that I had this past week. So I'm just happy with the amount of work I've gotten done on it, and I'm going to get a lot more work done on it tonight and also tomorrow when my friend Cameron comes over and we watch more horror movies. So that's kind of it for my finished objects and my collection, what I got today. And I'm not going to do a stash dive because you've seen it now. This is my new stash edition. So that's kind of that. So let's get to some recommendations. Let's see, what have I been reading lately? Actually, if you are into witchcraft at all, witchcraft or paganism, I have been reading The Witch's Path by Thorn Mooney, and it has been kind of a big help because recently I felt very stagnant and stuck in my personal path. So reading that and kind of incorporating some of those suggestions, and some of them are like, oh, that's so obvious, I should have thought of that, but it's kind of those things where you're in that rut, you're not thinking of those things, right? And I love the way that she presents them. Is she does them in the way as like for the elements. So like air is for the newbies, the people who are new to the craft. How can you engage with creation of sacred space when you're new? And then there's like water, and then there's fire. Well, there's air, there's fire, there's water, there's earth. So like you can kind of pick and choose. So I've been looking at these, and most of the things that have attracted me have been the water realm things so far. Because I think that's kind of the level I'm at. I'm not like a high priestess. I'm not like a real leader kind of thing. It's more like trying to amp up my practice a little bit. So the water has been really helpful in that. So I think maybe re-engaging with that element of water through these projects might be really cool to do. So that book is definitely a recommendation if you are into witchcraft and paganism. And I've been listening a lot to A Hot Dog is a Sandwich again, from the Mythical Kitchen. It's just such a fun podcast. I can't not love it. So that's been really fun to listen to. And when it comes to music and audiobooks, I'm still on my Vampire Knitting Club train. We're still on that train. That train ain't gonna be meeting no station for a while because I've got a couple more. I've got 3 more that I own on Audible that I've not listened to yet. So we're gonna keep chugging on those. When it comes to music, I've been listening to a lot of kind of Halloween themed music a little bit now, as well as some show tunes. I think my favorite album to listen to right now is the Wicked soundtrack. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a nerd. So, Wicked soundtrack, definitely what I've been listening to a lot lately. And I think that's gonna do it for me and Mr. Strawbean, who is just a log right here. But I hope you guys had a great time coming with me to the Fibre Festival and seeing my haul and talking about the projects I'm on right now and the projects that I have finished. Tell me in the comments below, what have you been working on lately and what have you recently finished? And let's share our Ravelry usernames. Mine is Ems is Fab, and you can add me as a friend on there. Put your Ravelry username in the comments. I'll try and follow as many people as I can. All right, bye guys. Love you, love you, love you lots. Bye.